So you know what that means? I ain't got to tell you to be like friends where she got to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I ain't got to tell you go left. I ain't got to tell you go right. I ain't got to tell you right there. And by God, I ain't got to hold nobody's head. Like, it takes all the frustration out of it. Like, come on, dude. Like, at a certain age, you just think we should all have certain things down. And, you know,
you have to be a practitioner to have certain things down, right? You just can't assume.
Listen, I'm not. I will get this before I have to hold someone's head. That, like, I'm just not doing it. Just not doing it in 2020, 2021, 2022. We'll revisit in 23.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole. That's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
There we go. Hello, everyone. It's your girl, the Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my lovable co-host, the Lovable Asshole, Mr. DK Walker. DK Walker, say hi to the people.
Well, how was you about to forget the most important part about, me being the lovable asshole? Like, that's the whole, I work hard to name myself that, and I'm trying my best to live up to that title.
You worked hard to live up to that name?
Okay, it comes naturally. So,
Okay. That I just want us to always tell the truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God.
Yes.
That you worked for that name. No. I'm sure you've been called that more times than not.
More times by my mother. That's my first nickname she gave.
Listen, what you not gonna do? We're not gonna blame this on your mom. We're not. No, we're not.
Okay. You gotta keep in mind when my mother told me, she was like, I don't know how you have friends. Like, I don't even know how you I don't know how your friends like you. So that was another way of calling me an asshole. I love my mother. Don't get it twisted. That's my baby.
Right.
She was just honest to a fault.
To the T, though. I'm starting to understand her sentiments about you, though.
You would. Anyway.
I would. So, congratulations are in order. The podcast launched, and we did very, very well. I was very Tom Cruise, standing on the couch with my magnum of champagne that I drank pretty much all by myself. So that was a good look for me. Typical, but I mean, it's my typical nonsense. I mean, Instagram had more fun with it than I did. Or at least that's how I felt.
Well, I guess because I'm the old man of the podcast, I was asleep. I went to a launch. You called me and congratulated me at 7. I was asleep. And I got off the phone with you and I went back to sleep. And I woke up about 12 and then, I let the missus hear like the first 5 minutes of it. And, she gave her enthusiasm. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Not a problem. Then I rolled back over and went back to sleep. So, another day at the office.
Listen, you and your water bottle. I'm surprised you have no comments about me and the champagne. I mean, it's not the first time, though, either.
I mean, I do have your sponsor on speed dial.
Listen, AA is for quitters. It's for quitters. I have no intentions of quitting to socially drink anytime soon. So, listen, this is my life. You just happen to be a part of it. But it was a good look. It was a good look.
True.
And I have something else to tell you. I have 2 things to tell you, actually. You're gonna.
Okay.
We'll go with the first one. So KK versus quarantine. Hold on to your desk.
Okay.
So it's not enough that I went and got my hair colored, which now everybody can see it. I look like a good old shiny copper new penny out the pack, the plastic pack. And I got these Chewbacca eyebrows cleaned up. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, my face can be seen.
Vanity.
Reign supreme. Listen, Sade said love supreme. I say, very supreme. Whichever. Today, I went and saw my boy. I went and got a pedicure. And really? I wore a mask. You should be so proud.
So in the last podcast, you gotta understand it's been an ongoing thing with the Thorny Chick over here about her upkeep and her need to get done in spite of social distancing. She feels as though that damn social distancing, her good looks need to be maintained at all costs, even at the risk of her very own life or that of others. It's really that important.
I wasn't risking anybody's life. I wore a mask today.
Okay, right. I'm just,
And see, I haven't coughed in 20 minutes. So
True.
I'm doing well. I'm doing
And so
well.
what was the person that did your feet today?
The same person that always does it.
Who is it?
Oh, so shout out to Kenneth Johnson, the owner of Platinum Nail and Sky Beauty Lounge. He has been doing my nails for probably about 3 years. Listen, and the whole point of it wasn't even like the soaking, because he's a strong believer in like letting your feet soak and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't even the best part. You would
do that with horse hooves, but I digress.
It wasn't even the soaking part. It was the rub down that got me. I paid money just to get rubbed down because I believe in the reflexology of your feet and all that kind of stuff.
Stop.
But it's the rub down.
Was it the because it felt good, or it's been a minute since because of the quarantine, to my knowledge, and I'm not in your business, right? So is it was it because of physical touch? It had the rub down. I'm pretty sure that the normal rub down was a good thing, right? Because you were lacking physical male touch. You know what I mean? That it was extra today.
It could have been a little extra today because, yes, thanks to quarantine, I have at least practiced social distancing in my sex life. Yes, I have not been.
So you needed a cigarette after he rubbed your feet, you were trying to tell people? No,
I did not. What I wanted was to jump in his brand new slingshot that he bought and go around the block. But I wanted to be responsible of my time, since I got in trouble last week about that, and not go joyriding the slingshot and make sure I was on time for the podcast. But bless the Lord, I'm learning as I go.
So in other words, when that we're, never mind. We're giving a whole new terminology to a foot jobs. What we're doing here?
No.
We're not?
No. Listen, when you go see your chick that does your feet, I want you to keep the same energy, sir.
We move. So we move. Like she stays in Centerville, her job, where she does, that's over 50 miles. I got to find me a new bay. It's hard because she's in all the spots. Y'all think I'm joking, okay? So what happened on a few podcasts ago, we had spoke of me getting my feet done and how it was so good to me. I actually brought my wife to join in the experience. That was my first threesome. We shared nail technician, right? We thoroughly enjoyed a nail technician. That's how good she was. And that shows you I'm not a selfish lover. Like I want you to feel what I'm feeling. Or, I want you to see the reason why I may be leaving you. Because she can rub some feet. And then she started working the calves. Lord. Right. And I tipped well. I promise you. I tipped like I got a happy ending. I did.
Oh, Lord. The certain things just never get past us. Certain things we just can't go by. So that was it. Oh, so second part. Second part is, believe it or not, I have said yes to not one, but 2 dates post-quarantine.
Whoa, look at you.
2.
So what prompted you to stop stiff-arming guys? Once again, is it the quarantine that's made you be like, look, enough is enough?
Okay, so the first one, this is how it goes. If the second one had said ask first, I would have said no to the first one, but the first one beat the second one to the punch. So now I just said yes, now I feel obligated to go. Now, equally, I work second shift, which does interfere with my social life anyway. So I might be off the hook with the first one. The second one's vibe, though, is cool as F. Really, really is.
You can say fuck, by the way.
I can't.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
Excuse me.
I can't, right.
PG? Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, my mother's somewhere around here, so no, I don't, and I don't want to, even though she lives with me, not be with her, I still, am terrified.
Respect, I get that. So I'll say it for you.
Fuck. Right. I'm still terrified to get my behind beat in my own house at 36.
I think sometimes you may deserve it, though, right?
You would say that.
Well, but let's not skirt this. So you said you got 2 dates lined up, right? So are they DM specials?
What is the actual DM special? So the one I know in real life, I had met him. He was dating somebody that fell through. He gave himself his moment to rah, get himself back together, put the pieces together. And that was fine. So then he asked, he had been talking to me, and he can conversate. He can converse. Conversate is not a word. He can converse really well.
Okay.
But in the conversing, there's not enough there to make me stay with him.
Okay.
I felt like you were going to say something, so I was waiting for it.
I'm good. I promise you. I'm on my best behavior.
It's only because we have a guest that I need to introduce.
I promise you, I'm on my best behavior.
Hallelujah. So second one, vibe is way different. Second one is just a vibe. Like, I really, really get the rap song. It's a vibe. Like, I like his vibe a lot better.
So what makes his vibe special? Like, clue me in.
Same age. Both of us are in the entrepreneurial section of life. And so we see each other in the same realm. So I can understand where he's going, where he's frustrated, where he's struggling, trying to get his business off the ground, where he's, working a 9-to-5 that you want to quit and things like that. And you just, all that comes with it. Things that you and I talk about on the daily about, how to move the needle forward and things like that. Like, he's there. So I can have a lot more to converse with on that side. He likes music and all those other things, all the nerdy things I like.
Right. Okay, cool. Like that didn't move the for the interest level of the podcast. That didn't move the needle for me, right? So the physical attraction, like what we like, say all the rest of the bullshit. The physical attraction, say that.
He's good looking. He comes.
So why didn't we just say that and save me? So you wasted 30 seconds of my life. I didn't need all that. The rest of that, that's fluff, right?
Just
that was a bunch of fluff.
Just because my vanity is high does not mean I would go for somebody else whose vanity is high.
So you gotta be fighting over the mirror? I'm just...
Right. Like, who am I doing that with? Nobody. I don't even fight with my kids. Get out the bathroom so I can get ready for work.
Yes, you can only be one pretty person at a time.
My point exactly. I probably needed to buy a house with more bathrooms, but, I digress. So it wasn't really physical. He really is a good, very, very good conversationalist, believe it or not. And did take my advice about trimming his mangy beard from quarantine because,
Let it rock, I say. That's what I say.
No. If you need, listen, some of y'all need to take a hot towel and some argan oil and blow dryer and do something with the mangy beards. Cassandra, you can laugh. It's okay. He won't take offense. She's like, she was holding that laugh so hard. Laugh at him.
I really was.
She was trying not to laugh at you. I'm like, listen, laugh at it. Them beards, y'all struggle beards have taken a whole new meaning. It was struggle beard when y'all was trying to grow it. Now y'all out here looking like unkept sheep of Jesus's pasture.
Are we talking about my beard or the hair on your legs? What are we talking about here?
Oh, I'll put my legs on the podcast, sir. They've been
okay.
All the landscaping has been cleaned. You can't have this packaging.
Right. So as we're close to being released from house arrest, because that's what we're on, right? Now, but before then,
no, I'm not on house arrest. I don't. I might be in a stay-at-home order, be in the state of Ohio, but I'm not on house arrest. No.
I think the country was. It's different terminology. Be that as it may, you didn't have no reason to clean up. But man, you about to get free. Yeah, you about to become free. Ooh. So you felt the need to clean up. It's cool. So I would keep my mangy beard, I give it a couple of weeks. Your legs would be looking like chip hits.
Bye. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So what's new with you? That was my update for you. I thought you'd be proud though of the 2 dates and the one that went down in the DMs. And the thing about the DM one is that it's been going on for a minute. He's probably been trying to holler for a year.
Hold on. For a second. So we had don't say it, I got you. That courtship is dead, long live the DM. Right. So what did the DM do? Where did that fall at in the context of things? Because we talked about how courtship was dead and he was able to nab you via DM. So does that make you a hypocrite? Because you said this thing to me and I need to listen to the podcast to go back and listen to say, no man can get my heart, da-da-da-da-da. Now look at you. You didn't fall prey to a
Don't fell for the okey-doke. No. He's always respectable. He's always upstanding. It's not I'm gonna slide you a dick pic. He's not that dude. He's not that guy.
But you don't gotta be that dude, like to right.
The ones we were talking about in said podcast that would make me a hypocrite are the ones that come at you. Oh, you're so beautiful. Or you're so gorgeous. Can't hold a conversation. Next thing you know, you get a dick pic.
Long live the DM, people. Long live the DM.
It goes down in the DM, Yo Gotti.
Right. So do us a favor, right? Since you brought your, like, I find this entertaining, and then because I've been married since God knows when, I'm going to live through you. So please keep us updated with your true dates.
All right. And anyone else who has questions about my DM life or my Instagram life or whatever I have going on, you can always text me at 202-715-1645. You can also text DK Walker at that and tell him about his mangy beard that y'all can see in real life in living color. I'm waiting for Fire Marshal Bill to come out and put a order on it. Just staple it to it.
You're right. I don't know. Some people say it's a good place to sit. I digress. Move right along.
I don't know nothing about throne rooms and those types of things. Any questions that you might have for Mr. DK Walker, please do so at askdk@nlpublishing.com, ENEL publishing.com. Please don't sit over there and choke. And for all your feedback that y'all have been giving us back that we are so appreciative of as these podcasts are rolling out. The Love Is Podcast at nlpublishing.com, ENEL publishing.com. You can find me on Instagram at DaJamerican, DaJamerican.
Okay.
At Instagram.com. You can find the podcast as well, the_love_is_podcast at Instagram.com. And as rumor would have it, DK Walker has, by the love of his audience, changed his name on the gram. I thought the day would never come. DK Walker, what's that handle?
Actually, I forgot.
You're a liar. You're such a liar. You know what you changed it to because you were so proud and vindicated to text me to say I changed my name on Instagram just because you was talking shit.
I think I really, honestly, I forgot. Did you let the people know?
Really?
Yes, really.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has changed his name, the @name, to, wait for it, because this is a good one, the Lovable Asshole DK Walker at Instagram. It is the _lovable_asshole. It should be underlined, but it's _DK_Walker.
And so I think you just have to step into your greatness. I know the bar is low, but I'm stepping into my greatness.
I mean, shit is low, so I mean, you gotta step somewhere. And when all else fails, you can find us on Facebook at The Love Is Podcast. It's 1,000 of them. Please look for a heart that is torn in two with headphones similar to mine, or you can add us at Love Costs Nothing and Everything. So,
you got some news for us?
I do, but before we get there, I want to introduce our guest who has been listening to our antics
and laughing at me. It's quite all right.
That's the nature of life. Normally, if I have another female, this is what happens. It kind of turns into the razzing session of you. So I'm excited. DK Walker, are you excited? This is my drum roll worthy. And I didn't do it with my mouth. We are so excited. We have our I hate you. Oh, I knew when you caught it. That's where the laugh is going to come in. So we are so excited. We have our very first, yes, Dr. Cassandra Parks. Say hi to the people, Dr. Cassandra Parks.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me. It's been a blast already.
Thank you for joining.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
So Dr. Parks is the owner of Let's Learn LLC. DK, go get your pen and paper. She's gonna help you out. Hear the name.
God knows I need all the help that I can get, right?
You hear the business name? Let's Learn Love. Okay? I'm gonna help you out today.
Says the woman with the popping DMs, but I digress.
Right. So clearly I'm letting love rule. I'm on my Lenny Kravitz. She is a certified relationship, dating, and intimacy coach and a sexual educator. On top of all that, she is an ambassador for the American Sexual Health Association and the Sexual Health Alliance. Woo, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Dr. Parks has been also in the past the affiliate of the IOC, which is the Institute of Coaches through McLean Hospital, which is part of Harvard University.
Ooh, that's a great look.
That's another smarty for you. You better keep it up, sir. I love her motto about life. She believes learn what you need and be unapologetic for it. The Let's Learn Love mission is to empower people all over the world to create fun and healthy relationships, dating, and intimacy through correct information and techniques. She has been featured on CNN, Voyage ATL, Style with Trish, BET, her 2019 Black Women's Expo panel. And recently, how we came to know her is her article that was in her magazine. So everybody, yes. Welcome, Dr. Parks. I'm excited.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Facts. Like, before we get into her article and the reason that we're here, that the reason that she's here, pardon me, let's get into the what the fuck news. And because I definitely want to get, really, because like I got a lot of questions. So I need some things expounded upon for sure.
Ditto. Especially now that we don't put, my whole personal business out on the line yet again.
Our aim is to be transparent. Like that's our aim. We want to be borderline and invisible for the people.
Borderline. If I become any more visible, I'm gonna be Casper, sir.
A little sun doesn't hurt anybody. We still love you.
Listen, I don't want skin cancer. I don't want skin cancer. I don't want sunburn. Light skin people and the sun don't get along. So my favorite part of the show is normally right here, beyond getting on your nerves, DK, because that's a daily issue. I can just send you a text message to do that. I don't need the podcast.
Facts on top of facts on top of facts.
You don't have to be so emphatic.
If the listeners only knew the half of the half, I digress. Please.
You showing out because we got company, and I'm keeping tabs. I'm gonna start keeping tally marks, sir.
You should.
I got you. So in today's What the Fuck News, the 9 best sex toys for couples to keep things interesting in the bedroom. Nope. The peanut gallery was silent.
Because I can't wait to hear this, right? Because before you get into the list, that my wife, she's consulting with Pure Romance, and her business has been booming because of the work she's put in, but even more so because of people being on lockdown. So ordering has been going through the roof, to say the least.
Listen, y'all can get at Nikki once I start reading this list off, because I'm sure she got half of them, if not more. Oh, I know she got more than that. I still need to put an order. Never mind. We ain't gonna go there. We're gonna let my DM life live for itself. So, we're gonna let my DM life live itself out. We're gonna give it some air today. So the first one is the beaded sensual glass dildo. You know what that is?
No, I don't.
So it's a glass dildo, and it looks like glass beads have been fused together. Cassandra's not in her head. I'm like, yes, we all know what this is.
Okay, so y'all want to, because what's the benefits of it being beaded? Like, how does it, what's the purpose?
It's curved G-spot stimulation, sir.
Okay, I'm just, because somebody might not have known that, such as myself, so I asked for the unknowing.
It is typically used, though, for anal play as well. So, however you want to work that out.
Moving along.
So you ain't touching that one. The next one is called the Dame Eva 2, and it's kind of hard to explain without you seeing it, but it's this like oval shaped, almost egg shaped middle part, and then it's got 2 arms on the side of it. It looks like you want to almost break it as a wishbone.
And the purpose of that?
It's a vibrator. It's a hands-free vibrator.
I honestly think they're just trying to get rid of men. I could be wrong. And I know that sex toys can be used to enhance relationships, but it's a strong possibility that we as men, like the dinosaur, will be soon extinct.
Listen, I'll read this and then I'll tell you what my personal feeling about it is. So this is literally on the label. The design of the Eva 2 is to tuck under your labia. The body of the toy rests on your clitoris, and the wings hold it in place. So you know what that means? I ain't got to tell you to be like Friends, where she got to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I ain't got to tell you go left. I ain't got to tell you go right. I ain't got to tell you right there. And by God, I ain't got to hold nobody's head. Like, it takes all the frustration out of it. Like, come on, dude. Like, at a certain age, you just think we should all have certain things down. And, you know,
you have to be a practitioner to have certain things down, right? You just can't assume.
Listen, I'm not, I will get this before I have to hold someone's head. That, like, I'm just not doing it. Just not doing it in 2020. 2020, 2021, 2022. We'll revisit in 23.
I don't know. I thought it was the dominance thing. That's why women help the head.
No, it's to get you not to move because you've been all over the place. It's directions.
Directions?
That y'all don't use anyway. You know, it's like having a map, but y'all don't.
Right. So your hand is like a GPS.
Instead of saying, and we done got tired of your rerouting, so it's stay. It's like a dog.
Like an unstable Wi-Fi, right? Like unstable Wi-Fi.
It's just stay. Rerouted 102 times. Listen, we done got frustrated. That's what that is. That's what that head motion is. It's not because y'all doing a great job. I promise.
This is hilarity.
Or this is us. This is truly who we are. Let's see.
Sadly.
This is it's a massage candle. Now, I'm not one for wax play. I'm too light skinned. You burn me, I'm swinging. And if you burn my house down, I'm equally going to have you talk to Progressive. You know, Flo going to have to come out here and you explain how the whole house caught on fire because
it's called being creative.
No.
Shit happens during creativity.
Nope. Leave it to Prince music video. Don't.
No. Okay.
No wax candles for me. No, thank you. The next one is a silicone-based lubricant.
Can I just piggyback off the candle, please?
Absolutely. Jump in wherever you feel you are welcome.
Usually the candles melt at a lower temperature, so they won't burn the body. Usually they're some kind of creamy shea butter or soy or something that melts at a lower temperature.
And they use it
that it melts down and it's more moisturizing for your skin.
This one's a coconut oil.
Right, and it usually cools on contact as soon as it hits. Yeah. Like the heat is just, and then I know because I read an article. I'm not speaking from experience. I promise you.
No. Tell what you know. Right. You see us leaving like, oh, come on with it.
I'm just from experience that I don't know nothing about.
Oh.
At all.
Okay. So the next one is, like I said, a silicone-based lubricant. Very, very interesting. Super slippery. It can transform into a massage. Okay. The disclaimer, please do not use with silicone toys as the two will melt together. And Dr. Cassandra is nodding her head like, don't do it. So what is a silicone better, Dr. Cassandra, than the water-based one? Because
Okay. Here's the thing with silicone. Silicone is more slippery, but it is when you're not using toys. That is usually some contact. I don't recommend using silicone-based lubes with condoms as well, though. For those you want to use a water-based lube, and with toys you want to use a water-based lube, because I don't know if anybody's ever done silicone with a silicone toy. It gets tacky and it's hard to clean, and so you don't want to use both of them silicone because you won't be able to clean it properly.
Interesting. Things you learn something new every day. DK, check mark.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, next one. Not one that I have any personal experience with. It's the good old.
She's lying.
I don't, because when you find out what it is, I clearly don't have it. It's a cock ring.
You still
how am I lying?
Okay. Because you stand up to pee anyway.
Listen, I've been the man in this relationship for how long?
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
I've been the man in this relationship for how long? So I'm not saying I have one, but yes, that's the new one. Listen, since you want to be so funny today, you got one?
No, I don't.
No.
And it's crazy, right? No, think about it, right? Because like my wife sells all the stuff that you're talking about. Like she sells them, and there was a point in time that I was heavily writing erotica. So you would assume because of what she does and what I used to write that our lives would be, but it's pretty much past the remote. But we digress. So no, I don't own that. I'm sorry, dear.
Yeah, I'm gonna start a GoFund you.
You should.
I'm gonna send all the money to you.
And that's the reason we got, the good doctor in the house tonight to revive my sex life. She doesn't know it. That's the real reason why she's here. She's going to revive my sex life.
Moving on is the Smile Makers, the ballerina personal massager, the good old favorite, the good old magic wand. It looks like a microphone, but it ain't. It ain't. It's got buttons on it. Do you know what the magic wand is? I mean, I know your wife sells them, but do you know what that is?
Okay, you
know what the magic wand is? Got a head on it?
I don't.
Okay. You know the spin brush thing that you use in the bathroom to clean? It looks like that, but the head is solid. And you push a button, comes on, does all kinds of vibrating tricks. Ting.
Right. Look at you, reminiscing back down memory lane.
I told you about you singing on the podcast. I've asked you not to.
I can't sing, that's why I sing loud.
I'm aware.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Listen, sorry. We have guests. You can offend me on a regular day, but we have guests. Be nice, okay?
Not a problem.
Thank you. That's strike two.
Right.
All right. Then it is the U-shaped vibrator. It's called the We Vibe Unite. Dr. Parks, you wanted to describe that one for him?
It kind of looks like this.
Literally, like that shape.
And it can be used for double penetration. It can also go around a penis, or it can also go around a penis when it's penetrating a woman. So I can't kind of explain it, but it vibrates between both parties. I'll put it like that.
Got you. Not a problem. So I guess my question to you, how did you become so knowledgeable in this field? I know you got a doctor before your name, but it sounds like you have, and I don't want to get too personal, so I don't want to ask anything that's off.
Oh no, I'm an open book. It's no problem at all.
Okay, cool. And I appreciate you giving me that disclaimer. So do we practice what we preach? Is that how we became so knowledgeable, right? Like, do you just I'm just testing everything here? No? Yes, maybe?
No, not really. But there's a backstory to this. I've always decided that I wanted to work with people and work with relationships. My mother is a psychologist as well. And she did drug and alcohol. So before I got any of my degrees or anything like that, to work with her, I became a licensed life coach. Okay. So when I became certified life coach, and this is way back in 2006, 2007, nobody was a life coach and I was getting laughed at, but it still gave me the credentials to work with people, because after they were finished with their drug and alcohol treatment, they wanted to mend relationships. So it actually became just, personal relationships, non-sexual relationships, that's mothers and fathers with sons and daughters. And, sometimes the mother may have been on drugs and she wanted to reach back out to her children. So I started learning ways on how to heal that. So after that, it became, well, can you just help couples? And I was like, okay. And a lot of their issues were sexual issues. So I just studied. I became a sex toy expert at first. And as I just went on with school, I became more knowledgeable with, sexual education and with my marriage and family therapy.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it just all kind of snowballed all into one.
Which is definitely a good look. I think that more people need to, be honest about what they're into. That's, to me, I think is the first step. Like, if you're honest about what you're into, it's easy to talk about things that's pleasurable to you, right? Sometimes that's kind of hard to do because sometimes people may feel shameful about what they're into, right? So I know, I'm not sure Karen has finished her list, But a quick question I want to ask, how do you bridge that gap? And you shouldn't be ashamed if you're in a relationship. You should have at least enough love and understanding within your relationship to be able to talk about anything, but that's not the case. So a quick question to you, is how do you bridge that gap? How do you segue that conversation that may be difficult for a person?
Well, that's why in the beginning, it's very important to set your boundaries. And that allows a person to know kind of where you are. Unfortunately, these days, we don't necessarily put all our cards on the table. It's a bad thing and a good thing at the same time. But if you're into something and it's been past 6-7 months and this person still is not understanding you fully, then it's going to be difficult when it comes down the line, because you're building memories, you're building a life. So the true person is not representative. I always recommend, if you're going to have sex with a person and this is going to be your sexual partner, you need to have open conversations on their sexual partners. Could they possibly be exposed to STI or the STD? What is your definition of sex? Because your definition of sex and intimacy and somebody else's could be totally different. So you need to be on the same line as that before you actually get physical and intimate, because that may be something that you don't want to carry on with if it did get something like that. So I always say that.
Right. So it sounds like that conversation needs to take place very early in the relationship if you're looking to be serious and exclusive with a person, correct?
Right. As soon as that exclusivity talk comes, then that's the talk that you need to have about your boundaries when it comes to, if you are being intimate physically, then those conversations need to be had quickly, because any relationship, well, I won't say any relationship, most relationships are built on the physical intimacy part. And that is important to a lot of people. And how you have sex is important as far as what you need. Same thing with the other partner or partners, depending on what type of relationship you're in, that needs to be expressed.
Okay. So, Karen, was you finished with your list?
The last one was handcuffs. The leather ones with the good old gold clamps.
As a black man, y'all keep that shit the hell away from me. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'll give you the substitution. If you don't like handcuffs, get a spreader bar. Granted, it's for her. You'll enjoy it. I'll help you help everybody else.
Okay.
It's a spreader bar.
Not a problem.
It still involves cuffing, but it's, yeah.
I mean, I don't have no problem with the cuffs for, her, right? I'm just talking about, because it takes a lot of trust to actually give yourself that. Like, that's a lot of trust, right? A lot of trust, because you don't know where a person may go to, because once again, if you haven't had that conversation of what's to be expected, then by you giving over that type of control, especially without a safe word, then you may live to regret that.
Right.
That's one of my big things. Y'all go into sex and don't come in with a safe word.
See, we talked about that. So help me understand something, Doc. I'm gonna call you Doc if you don't mind. If you do, please forgive me.
That's fine.
Thank you so much. So, Doc, help me understand. So, because we had this on the previous podcast, do you need a safe word if you're just having conventional, regular sex? Is there a safe word needed?
Well, it depends on the relationship. If that is what you have established and that is what your boundaries are, then yes. I tell people each relationship is different. What works for somebody else may not work for you. Maybe they feel comfortable having a safe word if they feel like they want to experiment. They may be like really, really quote unquote vanilla, and they want to experiment a little bit, but still want to feel comfortable without pushing it over to the edge. So they may have a safe word. But there's people that have safe words that, are into fetishes, BDSM, and, that go to the extreme, and they only have a safe word if it's too extreme. So,
gotcha. Okay. So
it's just
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
So it's pretty much about boundaries then, right?
Yeah, it's just being established with boundaries. And please, if you're going into any type of relationship, whether it's a work relationship, a family member, a intimate relationship, make sure you set your boundaries early in the game. Case in point, I also give lectures at companies, and I did a famous insurance company, and we was talking about setting boundaries early on when you come to work there, because that lets people know what type of person that you are and how they adapt to your personality. You know, usually when you go to a job, you're very, oh, hi, how are you? But, you know, somebody comes and takes your stapler, because that's what they do around there. If you're not, you know, feeling comfortable with somebody just coming to take something off your desk, you know, that needs to be stated at the beginning. So, right. You know, no matter what type of relationship, boundaries need to be set.
Facts. So, Karen, I need to set some boundaries with you. I think you go too far with me. You hurt my feelings all the time. I'm emotional over here.
Yes, we know, Drake. Got me all in my feelings.
Okay, that's Mr. Aubrey to you. That's Mr. Aubrey to you.
Mr. Aubrey. Okay. Yes, Mr. Aubrey. We know. Kiki, do you love me? Yeah. So I'm happy that you did touch on STDs. So I'm sure that because sexual education is in your moniker, people are like, oh, she's just talking about STDs. So can you give us a little bit more about what that actually means in sex education?
Sexual education goes from everything to safe sex to family prevention, how to, some people like natural. So it can go from there. It can also go to positions. It's a wide span. It depends on what you want to talk about. Some people, again, safe sex, if I could get it out. And then some people want to talk about positions to get pregnant. So it's a vast area.
So if you're working with couples, are you giving them maybe tips, tricks, tools? Is that a part of the sex education, or are they two separate things?
No, it's part of it. Usually when people say sexual health, that is the safe sex part, and sexual educator is, you know, positions and, you know, how to basically have sex. I try not to use all these terms that we're taught in school, because
anybody for dummies.
You know, anybody who knows me knows I am a chick that's from Decatur, Georgia. You know, so I'm real laid back. I'm real cool, and I don't like technical terms because I'm like it's too pretentious. Let me just give you the real. So
yeah, true. It's cool. You know, you feel at home here, and so it's cool to, you know, figuratively let your hair down and just, you know, let it fly. Before we get deeper into this, do me a favor, Doc. Could you let people know where they can find you at across social media? And yeah. So I want to get that out the way first. So like, I want to give you your time to shine.
Sure, thank you. You can catch me on all social media. Let's Learn Love. My website, letslearnlove.com. Within the next couple of days, I'm announcing some of the classes that I do have coming up, and they're going to have bonuses. That's the thing that distinguishes my classes from other classes that are online. So if you follow me, and especially, I'm going to give y'all a code. I'm going to give y'all a code podcast. If you use that code, I'll give you 10% off my class.
True, Miss Business Lady.
That was so sweet.
So it'll be announced Monday, though. You got to come on there and within the next couple of days, and it'll
Congrats. That's definitely a good look. Right, for sure. That's definitely a good look. So this article about having all this sex, like, yeah. First of all, is it even, you know,
Whoa. Okay. Before we go there, let's discuss
we can't talk about the whole lot of sex.
Should we discuss the article
first? Set it up right.
Right. Can we do
I just can't jump in?
No.
No foreplay?
No. Let me do my part. I'll do the man part. You still stay in your feelings, Drake. Mr. Aubrey, excuse me. So the article that I alluded to earlier at Her Magazine was why you should have sex on a daily basis. That's his grunt of approval.
Mean, Johnny, mean.
So there were really great talking points of this, and so this is the part that we're going to get into now. DK Walker, you can go ahead.
Because you like I want to get all the niceties out of the way. I think it was a great article, right? I really do. I think you touched a lot of high points, but practically speaking, right? And without being too graphic, I'm not gonna be my usual self, so bear with me, right? So I'm gonna say chicken, and that'll be code for sex. So that's like heaven. So I love chicken. I promise you, I love the bleep out of chicken. You hear me? Like I love my ass some chicken, right? But I can only eat chicken so much every day. Like, okay, you can fry that chicken, you can barbecue that chicken, you can even freaking Z that chicken. But after a while, I'm gonna get tired of eating chicken every day. So how do you maintain, I guess, the zest of it all to continue eating the same, every day if it's possible?
Well, if you read the article on Hers Magazine, you would know the answer. And that answer is when you do it like that and you want to come up with new ways. So you start investigating and researching different things to do and things that you might want to be interested in to change it up a little. So that causes you to have communication with your partner, like, snapshot something, would you try this? Or, what you think about that? That opens up communication. Communication causes thoughts to happen. And especially when it's a constant flow of conversation between you and your partner, that brings y'all closer together because it's like a secret almost that you share together and you want to strengthen it. So it gets you excited. It gets you thinking about sex. And not only that, you're having great communication with your partner.
Okay. And I'm all for that. But in the same token, you have to at least have a basic understanding for those things to happen, right? Because you could be evolving and then your partner can be at a place where they're not necessarily ready to evolve with you. So right. To that you say?
Talk to your partner. One thing that people must understand is that we do evolve. And when we evolve, especially with your partner, you want them to be satisfied. So I would always recommend first listening to what they say before you even shut them off. They may say, well, why don't we try? No, I don't want to do that. Women are quick to do that, unfortunately. Don't close yourself off. At least allow your partner to fully express themselves and ask and be courteous enough to listen to their desires because they're sharing something that is personal and intimate to them. They trust you. So if they trust you enough to tell you, you should be woman or man enough to listen to what they say because that is your partner. 2, consider it, do some research. Even if you don't want to try it exactly at that very time, express that to your partner. Tell them, let me think about it. Let me do some more research on it. Especially like if it's something like anal sex or something like that. People can be very, trepidatious about that because that's a whole process. They might need to investigate, what is some things that they can do or read something that may tell them different experiences that different people have had so they can compartmentalize it in their mind. So give them a moment to absorb what you said. It makes you also think, well, is there something else that I need to add on to this when I tell them? Or maybe I didn't fully let them understand what I meant by that. So that gives you a moment to clarify something that, if you need to clean up or just go on with.
Okay. All right. Karen?
Yes.
Because I got a billion questions. We'll be here all night, and I'm not trying to hog up the whole.
You're not. I got you on time constraints. Go ahead and ask your next question. I'll give you the next one.
Oh, thank you. So like Kevin Hart did a special quite a few years ago, right? And it still resonates with me today. And he did a special. He was like, he had. I'm just going to say what he said. He ate his girl's ass, right? And then that discussion came out while they was at dinner with friends. And then he had to sit there with the, not him, but the joke when he sat there with the, you eat ass face, right? And so I think with men and some women, I think the trust issue, because you hate to partake in something and then have that thrown back in your face as, to make you feel less than when both of y'all participated in the act. I think, I assume, based upon like a lot of couples, they don't bridge that gap because of like, if I do this, then how do you look at me in the morning time? And then will you throw this back in my face later on when, like, say if we get into an argument? So how do you bridge that gap, or how do you, circumvent that from happening?
Well, that goes back to your boundaries. What are your boundaries? What are you open to? Because if you agree to that, then you should be, again, man or woman enough to keep your mouth shut. That is no one's business. What you do intimately with someone is your business. Unless you ask them, do you mind me talking about this to somebody else? Because that's unfair. That's a very sacred moment for some people and very intimate moment. So that should be something that is secret between the participants. Again, if you want or feel that you want to discuss something, you must get their permission. Point blank.
Facts. Thank you.
So, Dr. Parks, what are some of the newer issues with newer couples, not, out of social media aged couples, such as, say, co-host?
I see a lot of situationships.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. And that's why I keep harping on build boundaries and talk and communication, because these people go around thinking that they're in relationships with people and they're really not. There was not an exclusivity talk. If you don't have that talk, then you're not with that person. I don't care how much time you spend with them, how much money they spend on you, how much money you spend on them. If you have not had the exclusivity talk, then that is not your person. And boundaries must be set, point blank. So that is the one thing that I see with newer couples, especially. Two is social media, DMs, IMs, private chats, things like that. Because we live in a microwave age. Because we're so used to getting everything so quick, so fast, how we want it, when we want it. We don't really decide to work on anything. So if somebody's quote unquote talking to somebody and somebody else slides in the DM and they look good and they sounding like what you may be wanting to hear, then you focus over there instead of, again, trying to work on what you have with someone else. So that's usually the problems that I see the most.
Right. And I think the question I was asking Kern is, I guess it transcends age. Like, we all have those problems, no matter where you at, relationship-wise and whatever. The same things that, older people such as myself that's in long-term relationships, we still face the same problems that the younger generation. Because like say, you take me and I go from being married to single. Now I have to catch up with the times. I can't go out and I say I won't care, but it's harder to actually meet somebody on the street and say hello. That's the perfect opening line, in my opinion. Just hello, how you doing, right? 9 times out of 10, a woman got her face here. Like, she's on the phone, right? So if you don't, it's easier to converse via social media than you in real life, which is crazy to me, right? So how does that work out? Where do we lose that? Where do we get lost at in that? That don't even make sense. So a couple podcasts ago, I gave an illustration about how you could be on your knees praying, right? You can be on your knees praying for the perfect guy, the perfect girl, whoever. Right? So God hears you, answers your prayers. You both in line at Starbucks, right? Exactly who you pray for is 6 feet, because we're in this, COVID bullshit, right? In front of you, you 6 feet behind him. But if you just took the time out to lift your face off from the phone, you'll see that your prayers is answered. You know what I mean? But what happens is we're so stuck in, not being in the moment, right? That we lose out what could be a great moment that could turn into many moments in a lifetime of happiness.
Right. Well, It depends on if that person is actively looking. You know, I always tell people, put your phone down unless you're eating or something like that. Even then, you know, try to stay available, look available, if that's what you are trying to, you know, portray. So look available, be nice when somebody says something to you. Don't assume that everybody wants to talk to you. I don't like that, you know, especially if you're, say, a gentleman from the South. You have been taught to speak, you know, just a greeting, you know, good morning, how are you? You know, anything of that nature. Don't be so bitter all the time, women. I hate that. Especially, I hate that. For women just to be, you know, just balled up, just me. The man or the woman can just be nice enough just to speak and keep pushing, just to be cordial. Say nice, you know, good morning, good afternoon, say the greeting, and keep pushing. Don't be mean. Don't be nasty about it. And, you know, that's just one thing that I would always say, besides be available, be cordial.
I so agree about that point. Like, I hate when you're like in the mall, the grocery store, you see another like black woman, and you say, hey, good morning, and they just stare at you, or they like give you the face. And I'm like, I'm just saying,
right.
I'm truly not into women. I promise y'all, I'm straight as an arrow. And,
right.
you know, and you can't even get a hi or nothing. I was like, it's probably why I have more guy friends, because this is just as simple. Like, you say hi, I'm like, I can at least appreciate the head nod, like the what's up. Okay, keep it
right. And that's why a lot of women that are overly friendly do have less female quote unquote friends, because it is a big thing. You know, they always think they're in competition with somebody, or they're trying to steal somebody's man, or, you know, they can just generally be nice. And me, I'm the type of woman that if I see another woman with, you know, say her hair is pretty or something like that, I'm gonna tell her, you know, your hair is really pretty. Because one, you know, she may need that compliment for the day, or two, you know, it may make you feel good to see a person smile. That could be a selfish thing for you. So whenever somebody gives a compliment, say thank you, you know, say good morning, your greeting, and keep it pushing if that's the way that you feel for the day, but at least acknowledge them.
And do you think that's the breakdown in relationships, is the lack of communication? I mean, because we keep saying it. I say this a lot on the podcast. DK does too, is that we don't have adult conversation. Like, I say that all the time in my podcast in real life, is that we don't have adult conversations. And the reasons we end up in relationships, no matter the type of relationship, is because we avoided it. So do you think that social media is causing us to have the breakdown in communication, or we just have a breakdown in communication, period?
I think it started before social media. Really, I just had this conversation with my fiance about a couple of weeks ago, and I think that breakdown in communication as far as relationships started, I'm old, so I'm gonna date myself, back when I was a teenager in the 90s, because we were taught by music, you know, how to have conversations. We really didn't listen and follow through with proper communication. So we started shortening our words, you know, like we used to say stuff like psych, and, you know, just even though it's the small things like that, we shortened our words, we shortened our communication. So when we did that, we didn't really fully express ourselves. We made phrases to mean everything in the world instead of having a full conversation. So that's just how I look at it.
Back when I had a Nextel pager and a pocket full of quarters.
Right. I had a purple smoke beeper talking about come through. You know, that just foolishness like that. And that's what happened.
And then they took us from the pager to the Nextel, which was the two-way. Oh, that was the side of
thus the song Two-Way Free.
Okay. But
you know,
the two-way was the downfall. But long before cell phones came, the two-way was the one, because everybody had a code. Everybody knew what the code.
Right. So when we started that, we stopped having active communication for relationships. Everything became a code. It became a phrase. It became, you know, just very short conversations.
So how do we reverse that? How do we get back to real conversation, right? How do we get back to that?
Charge yourself with making conversation.
Okay.
For me, like, I don't write too many like what's up or short terms. I write out everything when I text. And my oldest son and I, we have this little joke. He's like, "Oh, I see you texting like a grandma again." I'm like, "No, because I charge myself, to write full conversation so people understand what you mean." That's something else that I see a lot with the couples too. They'll send a text message. The other person reads the text message wrong because, well, why did you have that tone with me? Or why did you do this? Or why did you do that? Instead of calling each other up on the cell phone and talking. Yes, I know sometimes, we're at work and we have to do quick things like that. But I always recommend if you're having a conversation with somebody that is detrimental, do not text it. Tell them that you'll call them later, we'll discuss it later. Tell them there's nothing wrong, but I just want to make sure you understand my point. Because sometimes too, when you write or say, we'll talk later, that shuts the person down because they think it's going to be negative.
Right. I think, all that stems to stuff getting lost in translation.
Right.
Right. So, pardon me. When that does happen, you open up doors to negativity. Because you're going to automatically assume, for whatever reason, you can automatically assume the worst. And then once that happens, it takes on a negative tone, and then you spiral out of control. It's something like, just like, what? I didn't even say it like that. I didn't even mean that. So, like, one thing with me and my wife is she's text happy. Me, I rarely even check my text messages. And I see something like, whoa, such text me? I can't believe that happened, right? But also, short, if it's important, call me. Like, because nothing can get lost in translation when we're having a conversation. It's impossible. But through text, like, please miss me. Because, like, you dated yourself, and I'm laughing because I'm older than you. Like, I'm definitely from, like, I'm 50, going on 100. This is how I feel anyway. But long story short, I just think it's best for a person to, make it a habit of having honest communication. Hopefully the person that you're talking to is in a position to receive that honest communication. Right. And that's another trick in itself. So how do you position a person, or can you position a person to be, receptive of what the message you're trying to get across to them?
Yes. Something my grandmother always told me, and I still live by this to this day: select your battles. And what she actually told me was, nobody's going to listen to you if you bitch all the time. That's exactly what she said. And I had to think about that. And I was like, what does that mean? She was like, baby, pick your battles. If it's something major that needs to be heard, he's not going to listen to you because you complain about every other little thing along the way. It's almost like a little boy who cried wolf. When it comes time for you to have a serious conversation, they're not going to listen to you. So the first thing I would say is, think about you, your temperament, and what actually happened. Does it need to be spoken on? Think about your temperament at the time when you have that situation. Does it still need to be spoken on? Because there's levels to this. If you know that you come in and you have a funky ass attitude for today, and something minor happens, like he forgot to put toilet paper back in the bathroom, you come out and you're snapping on him because you have a bad day, how's that gonna work? You snapped on him for some toilet paper when that was something you could have said and dealt with it yourself. So there's little things, little keys like that. I always say too, make sure that you listen effectively, because something that you may be doing for your partner is irritating them, that's causing them not to listen to you anymore. Case in point, say your partner doesn't like you when you're on the phone in front of them. Especially like if you've been at work and it's a long day and you're sitting there and you're just scrolling and talking on your phone and doing all this. So when you ask them something, they reflect it with a nasty answer. So then you're mad. But if your partner asks you not to be on the phone and you're consistently doing it, why would they not have an attitude? So, it's a push and pull type thing. Actively listen, effectively talk.
Okay. That definitely works for me.
So some of the key parts of the article that I still haven't gotten to, because we've been enjoying to ask you every question that pops into our head. I feel like almost like it's a fortune cookie. Like, oh, what's the next one? Is that you said having sex daily does lead to being less stressed, less depression, and it is a form of exercise. So for all of us who are on quarantine, listen, and we've been complaining about them quarantine pounds, myself included, my 5 that I gained. So what are your tips and tricks in that, space?
As far as losing weight, you burn calories. It's the act of the moving, the movement of it all together, especially if you're fluid. I tell people all the time, when you have fluid intimacy or fluid sex, is when it's just like seamless, like, you're just in the moment. It's just roll here, move here, like that. Then you burn more calories than if you have to think about it, because you're stopping, you're pausing, you're not, it's just like riding a bike or running or something like that. If you're running for, say, 30 minutes straight, you're in a motion. You're moving just about, unless, of course, you're stopping at a stop sign or, something dumb like that. But mostly you're constantly moving. If you have to think about it, it's awkward or something like that, it's going to be choppy. You're not going to burn as many calories doing that. Usually, too, if it is flowing well, it's good frequency. So good frequency means that you're going to want to do it more, which means, again, you're losing more weight.
Okay, so what happens if you're not evenly yoked sexually? Like, one person may have a high sex drive and another person's sex drive may be fading out.
Have a talk about it. Tell them what you need, how you feel about your plight. Again, effectively communicate. The other person has to actively listen while you're saying that. Then give them a moment to reciprocate how they feel, what their, quote unquote, wants and needs are, so that you can kind of come up with a happy medium. If you know that your partner has a lower sex drive than you, be considerate, make a compromise. Well, how about if we do it this many times this way and this many times, you may have to, quote unquote, put out a chart for the first couple of weeks until you get the hang of it. And then usually what happens is the person that has a lower sex drive kind of looks forward to it because they know that it's coming. Okay. No pun intended.
Yeah, schedule the sex date, like just like you do date night, schedule sex night, and doesn't have to be the same night.
So, especially, if you're a parent and you have children, sometimes spontaneity can be hard. So it does give you something to look forward to. It does give you that, oh, I know something's going to happen tonight. Let me do this, let me do that. And when a lot of times when people schedule those days, I heard stupid stuff like, well, it's not stupid, but things as far as like hygiene is better because, they go and they prep, or, they may have a certain mindset because they know it's coming. So they prep themselves before they actually get with their partner or partners. So, it can work both ways.
So another point that I liked was good sex equals high frequency. And so for some people who are not like really in tune to that, like I said, earlier, it's a vibe. And like, if you're on that higher consciousness and into those kind of things, you understand what the vibrations and the frequency is. So why don't you explain kind of what that means to somebody else?
Well, there's two sides of that. The good sex equals high frequency, which means you're craving it more. So if we go clinical, when you have sex, you produce the oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love bonding hormone. It's the one that mothers produce when they first have their children. That's why your children, you cuddle your children so they'll feel love. And both levels go up in both the mother and the child. So naturally, as humans, we produce this hormone. So when we have more of this hormone, we call it the hugging or kissing hormone. It makes you want to do more of it. If you produce more, it makes you want to do more. So good sex equals high frequency, meaning both of them are going to be higher.
Volume goes high.
Right. And plus, you know, you get that feeling. That's what that feeling is. You know, you all, you know, you just feel that feeling. That feeling is the hormone oxytocin.
When you start to understand the lyrics to love songs and you start looking.
Right. That love song hit different, you know, when you're like, oh, that's what that means. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, you know, that's when that happens. But I tell people, be careful, because it can be not reciprocated, and if it's not reciprocated, that's how we get a lot of those relationships. So that's why I tell people again, make sure you set your boundaries.
So let's talk about the flip side of it. So I have an issue in relationships. You know, I have girlfriends and we sit around, we talk about a lot of things. DK gets to be privy to it because normally I'm laughing about it. Days later, is that how do you address women or men, I've never heard too much of men, but I'll more so say about women who use sex as punishment, or they withhold intentionally. So if we're, you know, promoting that, you know, it makes you feel good, you're going high frequency, you know, obviously it's producing the emotions that make you happy. When you start to withhold it, now you're affecting your mood and your significant others.
Right. I do not like withholding sex, because sex is, especially if you have a regular partner, there's so many more benefits. You know, again, if you read the article, there's so many more benefits. It's good for your health. It's good stimulation for your mind. Your immune system is a little bit better. It's better if it's not compromised in another way. So, you know, there's many more things to it. You get out stress. You know, stress means high blood pressure. So there's a lot of reasons why you should do it. And if you're withholding sex, you should ask yourself why. Why are you withholding sex? I mean, again, we just talked about there may be time constraints. You may have children. You know, there may be shifts in jobs that are different. Those are all viable excuses. But if those are not there, then why are you not having sex? And when you ask yourself that and you can't come up with a question, then it's time for you to go talk to somebody, because you psychologically have something that is going on with you when it comes to sex.
Right. So maybe that their mate is just not their cup of tea anymore. Maybe they've just, you know, sometimes you go through the motions and then you can fake it, you know, as long as you want to, but after a while, the body will tell the truth on you.
Right.
Like the body just does not respond to the what it usually responds to.
Right.
What do you do when you reach that cross in the road?
Yeah, that's when I would recommend going to speak to a professional. Because at that point, you need to find out what the issue is, why you're not attracted to your mate. Maybe it may be hormonal. Sometimes when women are going about to be or are going through menopause, they lose desire because of lack of hormones. That's why you need to go to a professional, because it could be mindset or it can be hormonal. And either one of those, you need to find out what the issue is and solve it.
Right. Does that happen to men as well? Do they go through even
sometimes with men, it's usually when it's men, it's because they have an ED problem, and that's because there's a running joke that when women get older, their sex drive goes up, and when men get older, their sex drive goes down.
Facts.
A lot of that is psychological, because if we think about it, when women are younger, they're worrying about school, careers, if they get married, children, they have a lot of issues that, and a lot of people that depend on them. So it's a constant rat race with them. Men usually are a little bit freer in the beginning. When they're teenagers and young men, they don't have as much responsibilities. They may go to school, get a job, and then it starts leveling up, like if they get into a serious relationship. And then once they get into a serious relationship, it kind of climbs somewhat, meaning a man has stressors that he must take care of his family. He's got to get a good job. He has to finish school. And that works on him psychologically, forcing him sometimes not to be ready for sex. As men keep getting older, the responsibilities climb. They still have to keep their house. They may have grown children now that are ready to enter school or in high school, that they need extra money, extra funds at that time. So it's more and more pressure on them. Including on that, with them getting older, their testosterone levels and their other hormone levels are dropping, because as we get older, our levels drop. So that all those play into a snowball that they're not really thinking about intimacy as much as women are. Women, as they climb older, their responsibilities are leaving. They may retire from a job, so that frees them up a little bit more. Their children are grown and out of the house. They're either gone to college, military, something like that. So they're quote unquote empty nesting. They still have more free time. Their life is more open and more free now. So they're looking to explore more things, and sex is one of them. So it's a roller coaster between the men and the women, but it happens.
I think that's God joke on us. What I personally believe, like, it would be nice if we started off strong and just age rightfully together. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Such is life.
Yeah. But work with your partner. If the desire for either partner is less, it might not necessarily be your fault. Talk to your partner. If you're the one who's having the issue, communicate with your partner what's going on. At the end of the day, both parties deserve to know what the real truth is.
Facts.
Major facts. So, Dr. Cassandra Parks, again, thank you so much for coming through and letting us take some of your time as well for our listeners. Y'all could be anywhere, but y'all choose to hang out with me and DK and listen to our foolishness that goes on forever and ever, and the jewels that we give you. I saw your face. And again, I appreciate you, Dr. Cassandra, and I appreciate our listeners. Anything you want to say before we let you go?
Yes. I want to publicly apologize for the mix-up that happened earlier. I am so sorry. I understand you all's time. I understand time is precious, and I'm very, very punctual, and that irritated me to my soul. But I'm so sorry, and I had a blast. I love you all together. Your chemistry plays well off of one another, and I wish you much success. And stay safe, stay COVID-free, have plenty of sex responsibly. And I would also say Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely.
Facts on top of facts. Believe that. Thank you. Before we do let you go, give us your handles once again where people can find you at.
I'll give two, because I'll just give two. To follow the company, Let's Learn Love. Let's Learn Love on everything. If you can't remember that, just go to letslearnlove.com and click on all the links. You can also see some of the things that I've uploaded to my various social media accounts. For some reason, people like my crazy life and they like to follow me. So it's Cassandra M. Parks on everything as well.
Got you. So for our listeners, we're going to have what she said in our show notes. So if you didn't catch those, we'll have the links in our show notes, so y'all can definitely catch her up there.
Well, before we let Dr. Cassandra Parks go, and you too, DK, this is where you get to be the love doctor today. Well, every podcast, but today we're gonna give you the honorable doctor title today. So you get to go mic check 1 2 1 2 with the Daily Love Jones.
Yeah, that was a great intro. I don't know. I won't say that I won't eat today. I won't say that. I've been gained so much, information that is not even funny. I asked some questions that I would think that I probably wanted to ask, and I also asked some questions personally. So I want to get into, in fact, we think, Dr. Cassandra Parks coming on the show, it meant a lot to me personally and whatnot. For her to take her time and give her expertise, you can tell that she's very knowledgeable, that she is expert in her field. So before I get into my mini rant, I want to thank her personally for coming on. Look, people, do yourself a favor. Just, men, women, women, how it shapes up. I'm not one to judge. Just be honest, where you at in your life and what your needs are. I think that the honest conversation needs to be had as early as possible within your relationship, for you to have the best outcome, depends on how long you're going to be together. That's first and foremost and whatnot. The second thing is don't pass judgment. If a person is brave enough to share with you their innermost thoughts when it comes to what they may like sexually, it's not your place to later on throw that in their face during an argument or share that conversation with your girlfriends or male friends. Those two things. And thirdly, be open-minded. Be really open-minded, because what a person could be asking you to explore could be something that you like, and you may not have the courage yourself enough to bring it to the table, and since that they did, don't shoot it down out of fear. Like, talk about it, explore it, and just have fun. And at the end of the day, just remember that we're human, that we're growing together. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, but have fun no matter how it turns out. I appreciate y'all listening. Thanks for everything, everybody. And true, before I go, definitely Black Lives Matter across the motherfucking board. Don't forget that, ever.
Yeah. So, again, guys, I love y'all. Y'all could be anywhere. I mean, anywhere doing anything, especially now, as my co-host and our guest has said, Black Lives Matter is a heavy, heavy time right now in America across the board, especially for those of us who have kids, trying to teach them how they move forward. Be safe, be smart, have the adult conversations that we need to have, not only about love, sex, and life, but just every day, keep it real. This is your girl, the Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the Lovable Asshole, DK Walker. DK, tell people bye-bye.
Peace, people. Peace.
Bye, Dr. Parks.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Thank
you for coming.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the Lovable Asshole. That's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.